Seen better days. I've been the star of
How do you guys
many
know when it
plays.
starts? Is it just like a...
It just
You
pretty
just
much
wait
goes
and you
whenever.
kind of feel it. After a long time, you just feel it.
I haven't developed that
Yeah.
yet.
Okay.
Good
Welcome
evening.
to Nerdish. I'm Brendan.
I'm Vinroy.
Hey, Brady.
Hey, there it is.
Brady's
Awesome.
here.
Brady's here.
Very
I'm
good.
Levi. We're Nerdish.
Yeah, we are.
I should let the Discord know we've started.
Yes, you should.
Yes, we should.
Okay. Bird's starting. Bird, what are you starting
I'm
with?
gonna do some like real high-level math problems tonight. So
Real
hopefully
high
you guys
level.
brought your thinking caps, and if you did, put them on now. Because if they're not on, can't really use them if they're not.
Oh. What good is it doing back at your house?
Yeah, go get those things.
Hey, Marshy.
Hey, Marshy.
¿Cómo se va? Or, ¿cómo estás?
Very
or,
good.
Sup, dog?
Cómo se va? That's a
¿Cómo
weird-
estás?
but I heard you say cómo se va.
No.
How do you go? That's it. Okay, anyway.
I said ¿cómo se
No,
va?
no,
Which
French.
is the French.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. And
That's
then I
why
said-
I'm... He's learning Spanish now.
I am learning Spanish.
All right. Hey, good to see you guys. Just so you know, we've erased it, but we're still doing the giveaway.
Seneca. Seneca.
Hey, Senecoa.
Sinacoa.
Good to see you. I think it's the first time on chat. Welcome. But yeah, we're still doing the giveaway. If you type in ! enter, you are entered into a chance. Our raffle for it was there. I said that beforehand. Don't give me that. You'll be entered in our raffle that has been going on all week to be drawn to get a free essay revision session with Levi. It's for seniors only. It's not raffle. It is enter or ticket.
Very exciting.
Oh, hey, the Apple of Doom.
Apple
It's
of
been a while.
Doom. We got a little. Is that the
Yeah.
Kraken?
What are you supposed to call Brady now? I don't know, because he's not wearing glasses. Marshy has so many points.
No, I'm Vinroy. I'm Vinroy. Brady is on the chat.
Yeah, we've
Oh, I guess
decided
our thing
Birdie
is
is
now-
Vinroy.
I think I didn't uncheck that. I guess it's going to tell you when you buy a ticket now.
That's fine.
Yeah. All right.
There are worse things.
What are you guys going over tonight?
High-level math problems. So hopefully you guys brought your thinking caps, and if you have it but haven't put them on yet, you want to go ahead and put that thing on.
I'm doing vocab and context. It'll be quick. If you have any vocab and context specific questions, definitely bring them. Put them in the Discord. Things of that nature.
Look at this whole gaggle of goons we got. Hey, KM. You got everyone. You got Marshy. Is that
Oh, we have
Marshy?
KM too. Hey,
KM's
KM.
here.
Oh, KM, it's been a while.
1892.
Well, hey, KM.
Marshy, I'm a senior. Huh? What?
Because Marshy is not. Great.
Ah,
I'll let you guys go.
Very good. Can
I
one of
will-
you guys give
yeah.
me either the ACT or the SAT?
Yeah, I'll pull it up for you.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you want me just like to hand it to you, or do you want the
Why
thing
don't
here?
you- why don't- I want you to hand
the overlay, Brendan.
the overlay.
The ACT?
Can you hand me? How did you do
okay,
that?
we're gonna lag for a sec.
Sorry, guys. Senioritis. Man, I had senioritis my junior year of high school, and I never got over it.
I still
Bird,
have seen
When
that.
can you?
number?
Where? Senecoa, you can either go down
what
in our Discord if you want to post a question, or you can do it in the chat. Discord makes it a little easier to read if it's an image because we don't have to click on a link. But if it's just an actual sentence or something in terms of that's what the question is, you can go ahead and just put that straight in the chat.
Very good.
Yes, KMM. Or
Q,
KM.
U, woo, woo, woo. All right, guys. We're going to go ahead and get started. So as I said before, thinking caps need to be firmly on. Make sure that the Velcro is tight because you don't want that thing coming off. We're starting with number 48. For some of you, this might look tricky. For some of you, this might look very, very easy. We're just going to go through it quickly, and we're going to get on to the next hard thing. So we have 4 over root 2 plus 2 over root 3 is equal to what? Okay? We have two things going on here. It's not the greatest thing to have a square root in your denominator, or any root for that matter in your denominator, and we also have fractions of different denominators. So we're going to have to tackle one of those things. If you look at the answers, they left the denominators in root form, so it sounds like they're okay with us leaving it in root form. So really the only challenge here is let's get them to have the same denominator. So we have, I'm going to bring it right down here, 4 over root 2. And we're adding that with 2 over root 3. So those aren't integers, so it's not really the easiest thing to just find a least common multiple. But you can always multiply 2 denominators together to create a new common denominator, okay? And that's just what we're going to do here. What do we got here? Can I wear a beanie instead of a cap? If it's a thinking beanie, then absolutely. But make sure that thinking beanie's tight, because I've seen some thinking beanies that have not been tight fall right off. So we're going to multiply both numbers here by the denominator of the other fraction, root 3, okay? This is going to be times root 3. This is going to be times root 3. And then with this fraction, we're going to multiply it by the other denominator, which is times root 2. times root 2 over times root 2. So I'm going to rewrite these, and then we're going to add them. We have 4 times root 3. That's just going to stay 4 root 3. All right. When you multiply two radicals together, as long as they're the same root, right here we had 2 square roots, we can just multiply the numbers inside together. This is going to give us over 6. And we're going to be adding this with 2 root 2 over root 6. And now that they're over the same denominator, we're safe to add them. These aren't like terms, so they're just going to stay separate like they already are. So we get 4 root 3 plus 2 root 2 over the square root of 6, which, as we can all see, is going to be G. Very good. Thinking caps engaged. I love plugging stuff like this in my calculator. Yeah, that's true, Brady. You can always plug this in. Hi, guys. I'm going to be Vinroy for tonight. Some of you already know that, and that's Brady. Yeah, and then you can figure out which one of these answers would, give you the same number. Usually your calculator will just spit out a decimal at you, so just find one that matches which one of your answers here. We're going to keep going, guys. We're going to keep going. We're just going along with the ACT. Any questions on this one here? How does one do that?
No, you're good.
Very good. All right, next one. Going on to 55. 55. Ooh, this is going to be fun. It's all fun, they all say. And I respond, that's true. But this one is as well. Kelly asked 120 students questions about skiing. The results of the poll are shown below. We've got some interesting questions here. Have you done either cross-country or downhill? If you said yes, do you ski downhill? If you said yes, do you ski cross-country? And the question is, after completing the poll, Kelly wondered how many of the students polled had skied both cross-country and downhill. How many of the students polled indicated that they had skied both cross-country and downhill? So, visually, there is kind of a trick to these questions. When you could fall into one category, another category, or perhaps both categories, there is a kind of diagram that you've been doing probably since like 1st or 2nd grade where you compare and contrast. It's called a Venn diagram. Venn diagram is going to help out a lot with this kind of problem. So we got 2 categories. Those who ski downhill, those who ski cross-country, and those who ski both. So I'm going to make 2 circles here. I'm going to make sure as well that we label them. So this is going to be downhill. This is going to be cross-country, naturally meaning the middle is going to be both here. Okay, so she asked 120 students, and then only 65 of them had done either, okay? That's kind of a big narrow down from the original 120, because the important thing about that is questions 2 and 3 only ask questions to those students, the ones that said yes to question 1, meaning they do one or the other. So this 55 here, these kids are gone. They're not represented in the rest of the survey, and we don't need to worry about them because the question's asking how many kids did both. 55 didn't do either. They're gone, okay? 65 is the important thing. So with 65, we have a total. Here we go. Come on. We have a total of the kids that are in one category, the other category, or both. These 3 different sections add up to 65. Now, here's the interesting thing. Let's talk about the kids that said no to the next question. The next question is, if you said yes, which means you do one or the other, do you ski downhill? If you said no to that, we know you must do the other thing. That you're only being asked a question because you do one or the other, and you just said, no, I don't ski downhill. So 37 is the number of kids that ski cross-country. It simply has to be. So we're going to write 37 in for cross-country. And then similar logic, exactly the same logic. If you answered yes to question 1, do you ski cross-country? If you said no to that, you must ski downhill. So 20 is going to be downhill. Now we know that 65 total students responded that they did one, the other, or both activities. So these 3 categories need to add up to 65. I'm going to call this X for right now. We're trying to find out how many students did both. So these 3 things, 20 plus X plus 37 has to equal 65. So now we just need to solve this thing for X. We have X plus 57 is equal to 65, and we subtract 57 from both sides, leaving us with X is equal to 8. 8 students must do both. Interesting. Very interesting. I like to, give my own self encouragement while I'm working my way through a problem. Any questions on that, guys? Any questions? If not, we're going to keep going. If I hear later on that there were questions that weren't asked, I'm going to be angry. You can ask Levi.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. I get really angry. I start frothing at the mouth, and I wake up like a week later. It's crazy. All right, we're going to keep going. Thank you, Brady. Does that mean, yes, there are questions? Or I assume you'd ask the question if you had one. If I don't hear from you, 58's right here, so we're actually going to stick on this page. Which of the following number line graphs does the solution set to the inequality absolute value of x minus 5 is less than -1? Okay, absolute value and inequalities. We have two different things going on here, and there's some pretty interesting side effects when you combine them both. So I'm going to need some space here. Yeah, we're going to get rid of this. Any other questions? Why wouldn't it be A? Are we talking about for the first one? They're asking that they did both. Some kids did one, some kids did the other one, but they're asking about... Oh, you guys are talking about English. All right, never mind. Never mind. All right, I'm not going to be Vinroy anymore. I'm going to be Brady. I can see how this is be really confusing. So, Vinroy is now Vinroy again. Wait, you were talking about this one? Oh no, this is getting into a classic mix-up. Vinroy was talking about that. I assume he would. Okay, why isn't it A? Why isn't it 73 students that had done both cross-country and downhill? Well, think about, we started with 120 students, and they asked the preliminary question, how many of you have skied either cross-country or downhill? 65 have. There's no way that more students did both, because 65 is all-encompassing of the students that did one, the other, or both. 55 students are out of the running because they don't do any of them. So therefore, 73 is higher than the number of students that we have in the survey that do one or the other, or both. So 73 it's off the market. Yeah, let me know if that makes sense. I think you're probably confused where the 8 came from. Oh, dang. Okay, we're good. Okay, we're going to keep going. So absolute value inequalities. We have absolute value of x minus 5 is less than or -1. Less than -1. When you solve an absolute value equation, the very first step is to isolate the absolute value expression. That's already been done for us, so we don't have to worry about that. The question then becomes, what do we do with an inequality absolute value? In normal cases, we create two different equations where whatever's on the other side becomes positive and negative in both equations. So let me just show this. If this were a normal equation where we have an equal sign, first off, this could not be equal to -1. That'd be impossible because an absolute value is either going to be 0 or positive. So I'm just going to make a different number. Let's say that this was 10. From this step, you'd branch this into two different equational possibilities. Is that an adverb, Levi?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, wait, equational?
Equational.
No, that's an adjective.
You're right. Equationally.
Yes.
I'm going to break this up equationally. One where the equation is equal to the positive number on the right side, and the other where it's equal to the negative number on the right side. Because the value of x minus 5 could be 10 or -10. When you take its absolute value, both of those values turn into 10. And then you solve these separately, okay? Something similar happens with absolute value inequalities, but the inequality sign itself does something interesting. So we're going to make two inequalities from this point. We're going to branch it. The first one is going to look identical to what we have, just without the absolute values bars. So we're going to have x minus 5 is less than -1. Fantastic. The other one, we're going to switch the -1 to +1, which is probably what you were suspecting, but the inequality sign itself also has to flip. That's the important part of this. So we're also, I'm going to move this over a little bit. We're also going to have x minus 5 is greater than +1. All right. Now we solve both of these. Add 5 to both of these. We're going to have x is less than 4 and x is greater than 6. X is less than 4, x is greater than 6. So they can't be between 4 and 6. They can either be lower than 6 or above, lower than 4 or above 6. And if we take a look at our options, we do see that that is answer J. There we go. Nice big circle to get J in there. Every person ready for the video. That's for Levi. All right, that's going to be it for ACT. Could you guys put on the SAT?
Yeah.
Any questions on this one, guys? Absolute value inequality, breaking to 2, one's positive, or one stays the same, you keep the inequality. The other one, you flip it, and you flip the inequality.
All right, you're starting on the no calculator.
I would like to go to calculator if that's an option.
What number?
I would like to go to number 29 if that's an option.
Always an option, Brady.
It's always an option. You got to give Brendan options. Otherwise, he feels like you're kind of, I don't know, cornering him. But you give him options. Right.
I don't want to corner an animal.
Hiss, the SAT. Is that parcel tongue, Vinroy? Are you a parcel mouth? So I'm pretty sure that is parcel tongue. Okay, number 29. For a polynomial p of x, the value of p of 3 is negative 2. Which of the following must be true about p of x? Okay, we have x minus 5 as a factor of p of x minus 2 is a factor, x plus 2 is a factor, and the remainder when p of x is divided by x minus 3 is negative 2. Okay, so let's just say that A was the answer. All right, let's say that x minus 5 was a factor. If x minus 5 is a factor, hopefully you guys remember when we talked about roots, solutions, zeros, and x-intercepts. They're all the same thing. If this is a factor of a polynomial, that inadvertently, or possibly advertently, tells us what one of the solutions of the polynomial is, which is 5. Because factors, whatever x value make factors 0, give you the solutions, okay? So 5 right here would be a solution, and the deal with a solution is that when you plug it in, the polynomial spits out 0, which is why it's an x-intercept in the first place, okay? That is not what's going on here at all. If we put a solution into a polynomial, we should get out 0, nor are they even using 5 anywhere here. So x minus 5 comes out of nowhere. This 5 is not connected to any of these numbers. So if your intuition is saying that can't be right, you are correct. It is not right. We're going to take that out of the running. Just like the kids who said no, they don't do cross country or downhill. How about that? I'm trying to connect things. It's just a trivia game. A little bit. Hey, don't stay up. I mean, no, don't take a nap. Okay, we're going to keep going. X minus 2 is a factor. Okay? This negative 2 might be where you think x minus 2 is related, but this negative 2 would be a y value. Because according to function notation, they're plugging in 3 for x, and they're getting out negative 2. Let me just write that up here. So what they're saying is that p of negative 3, nope, sorry, positive 3. P of 3 is equal to negative 2, which, again, basically means there's a point on this polynomial, which is 3 comma negative 2. So factors are when we get our polynomial to be on the x-axis. When we find our x-intercepts here, which are also called our solutions and our roots and our zeros. And these numbers here would only work as factors if we get out an output of 0, which, again, is not what they're telling us. So B and C are not going to work, leaving us with D. All right, the remainder when p of x is divided by x minus 3 is negative 2. You will only understand this if you get the remainder theorem, which I can. What it says is pretty simple, but that's going to be this answer here, which hopefully you can get through process of elimination. Basically, when you take a polynomial, so you take a polynomial, which we're just going to use p of x, and you divide it by some x minus r. In this case, they're dividing it by, well, okay, we'll get out in a sec. All right. If you put in 3, x minus 3, negative 2. What you're going to get out is going to be p of r itself. Okay? P of r itself. So if we take p of x and divide it by, in this case, they're telling us when you divide it by x minus 3, write it right here, over x minus 3, is going to give us p of 3 itself. And p of 3 is negative 2. So in this case, that's one reason why p of 3 is negative 2, because if you divide the function by x minus 3, you're going to get negative 2. The derivation, set an alarm, too much work. No, it's something else. Derivation of polynomial theorem, really, really quickly. Take a polynomial, divided by x minus r. That should get you some smaller polynomial plus a remainder. If you multiply everything here by x minus r, did I just take up your Q space, or you're just going to put one line here? If you multiply everything here by x minus r, what you're going to, I'll put it below and you're good. You're going to get p of x is equal to q of x times x minus r. Sorry, the remainder is over x minus r up here. Plus the remainder. And then if you take p of r, this factor right here, x minus r, turns into r minus r, which is just 0, leaving you with p of r. It's kind of a complicated theorem, and I would recommend that you guys, I don't know, search YouTube for an explanation here.
Was that from Seneca? Or Seneca, I think, had a quick question about that.
What do we got? Would it work the same if we replace p of 3 with negative 2? If I replace p of 3 with negative 2. Yeah, because this is negative 2 right here. So you can make that substitution. You can set this equal to p of 3 according to the remainder theorem, and then p of 3 we actually know is negative 2. And this right here is the equation version of the remainder when p of x is divided by x minus 3 is negative 2. This functionally is the same thing. Yeah. Remainder theorem, right, purple shirt? Exactly, Fortlight, remainder theorem. That's correct. Which, have you guys ever seen the remainder theorem come up besides this question?
No.
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 Okay.
This one's rough.
Yeah. All right, we got one last one, then we're going to move on. Which is number 36. Gotta get rid of this stuff. Number 36, for what value of x is the function h above undefined? When you hear undefined, you should think recognition. What does undefined mean? How does something become undefined? It becomes undefined when you try to divide by 0. A slope that's undefined is a vertical slope. It's being divided by 0. Its rise is something, but its run is 0. It's not going left or right. It's only going up and down, and that's undefined. So whatever makes this denominator equal to 0 is the value of x that makes this function undefined. So there's two ways to do this. Let's just set the bottom equal to 0. Here we go. We're only going to get anywhere here by foiling and distributing and combining like terms. So we got to do all of it here. So x minus 5 squared is going to be x squared minus 10x plus 25. That's FOIL. It's not x squared minus 25. All right? That's the wrong way to square a factor like that. And then we're going to add 4x minus 20. And then we have plus 4 is equal to 0. So we just have to solve this for x. So combining like terms, x squared, we're all good. This is going to turn into minus 6x. This is going to be plus 9 is equal to 0. And then if we want to factor this, multiply to 9, add to negative 6, negative 3, and negative 3. So we have x minus 3 times x minus 3 equal to 0. Identical factors. You get, this is a square binomial right here. It follows that pattern. And so we only have one answer here. X equals positive 3. Yeah, any questions, guys? X being 3 will make this function undefined because the denominator is 0. Nobody likes it when the denominator is 0. Very good. You guys were phenomenal today. I gotta say, we went through that stuff so quickly. I have never seen audience participation like that before. Who's up now, Levi?
I'm going to do a couple quick questions they had in the Discord,
Go
and
for it.
Senecoa had a question.
Go for it.
Senecoa, ideally you can copy and paste that, otherwise I can search back through this for it.
Don't do what I did and get all sweaty. I'm getting all sweaty.
It is warm down here right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Crate X.
Whoa.
We need to get this fixed, guys. All right. We have crate X.
Hey,
Holds 18,000 kilograms. Crate X holds 20% than Y. Whoops. Just having trouble with this newer marker. All right. How many more kilograms? Okay, find. How many more than y? Great. Hey, thanks for it, Light. Okay. Now we have that crate X is 18,000 kilograms, and that is 20% more than Y. And we want to know how many more in an actual number of kilograms, not a percentage anymore. How many more kilograms can crate X carry than crate Y? Well, we know what X is, and now we need to figure out what Y is. So we know that crate X is 20% more than Y. So X equals 20% more than Y. So this is not going to be 20% times Y. It's not 0.0 Y. That is wrong. Okay? Now what we could do is say I want 0.2 Y plus Y. Right? I have all of Y and another 20%. If you have any questions, let me know. This is what you want to start out with. You know that X is 20% more than Y, so you have Y plus 20 more percent of Y. Thanks, Exec. Thanks for tuning in. However, we can simplify this a little bit. We have X equals, I'm going to go ahead and pull out a Y, 0.2 plus 1, meaning this is the reverse distribution or distributive property, whatever. I'm allowed to do this. I can plug it back in to get up here. I can also pull the Y out. I'm factoring the Y out. Now I have X equals 1.2 Y. Then I plug in the numbers, which I don't have my phone on me. Hold on. Unless Brady or someone wants to get that for me, but
I have a phone.
Yep.
What would you like?
18,000 divided by 1.2, but
It is, my lord.
15,000. Meaning X has 3,000 more than Y. So 3,000 kilograms is our answer. Senecoa, hopefully that answers your question. Let me know if you have any questions on that or what might have tripped you up. It's important they say 20% more, 20% less, and where it's coming from, so that you know, Jerry, you know where you're going to be multiplying that by. Now, I'll erase that in a second. I'll leave it up for now just in case Seneco has any more questions on that. We had a question in the Discord. It says that we have some plumbers, Kelsey, I'm going to say Kels and Sarah, and we have the time it takes them to finish some sort of plumbing project. Kelsey takes X, I believe, minutes, I would assume. It takes Sarah X plus 15. It doesn't give an actual time, or at least they didn't tell us the time, but I'm going to say minutes. Because I don't think it's going to take Sarah 15 hours more than Kelsey. Yeah, for it, like, so I'm assuming you meant minutes here. Now it says, given that this is true, what does this equation here represent? Well, not quite. They're wanting to know, what does 36 represent? Yeah, glad we can help, Seneca. It's what we're here for. X minutes. Thanks. Okay, you said it. All right. Then I read it too quickly. We are now asked, what does 36 represent? What are the answer options here? It says, it's Kelsey's time to do this alone. It's Sarah's time alone. It's both of them working at the same time, but not together. And then the last one is the time it takes for them working together. I have an issue with all of those answers. I would say 100% it's not the first two, because this is not just Kelsey alone, because we have Sarah's information here. It's not just Sarah alone, because we also have Kelsey. Something else I want you to realize is that these are not the time it takes for them to do this. These are both rates. Right? Because we have 1 over the time it takes for them to do this. Right? So these are something per minute. So it is a rate. So 1 job per X minutes. 1 job per 1 over X plus 15 minutes.
Brendan, on the right side it should say 1 over 36.
It should, but they didn't.
Wait,
oh! Yeah. That makes this a lot easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it way easier.
I was going to say, this is actually not an easy problem, but that simplifies it quite a bit. Thanks, Jerry.
You're odd.
Sorry, my guy. You from Brooklyn?
I'm not your guy, buddy.
I'm not your guy, buddy. Not your buddy, pal. All right. So now this is also a rate. Okay? However, okay, hold on. I need to actually see what the questions were now. So I still don't think this is Kelsey alone. I still don't think this is Sarah alone because we have both of these in this equation. So A and B are off. We then have them working alone but at the same time, or both of them working together. It doesn't make sense that they're both working at the same time but alone if we are taking the information from both of them and adding them, right? Meaning this 1 over 36 is going to be the time it takes them to complete a project when working together, right? It would end up being, this would be a little bit gross to do. You would flip everything, but you can't flip these just as they are. You would have to rewrite this as, okay. X plus 15 plus X over X squared plus 15X is going to equal 1 over 36. You'd flip those, and you'd have X squared plus 15X over 2X plus 15 equals 36. Right? Meaning you now have something quite gross, but this is going to give you the rate of the time it takes for them to work together. At least that's my assumption based on the phrasing you gave me. All right. Any other questions? If not, I think that's Seneca and Fort Latter to Jerry. Yep. Granted, this last step I took, or these last couple, from here down is not necessary for the problem. This is one of the questions where you can, it's similar to the reading section or writing section, where you can actually cross off 3 wrong answers, right? You want to recognize that you have Kelsey's time, the rate for Kelsey to fix this, the rate for Sarah to fix this, and understand that A and B can't be correct because there is an addition here. We are adding their 2 rates, meaning it can't be just one of them alone. That also disqualifies C, if you read it carefully. Their combined time while working. I was stuck between the combined time and them working together. Well, that's not what you had said in here. Is it? Yeah, Brady, 2 seconds.
Yeah, man.
Is this the combined time of them working separately?
Well, I mean, they're...
I would say this is the combined time of them working separately.
Sorry, combined... What is the combined... What do you mean by
well,
combined
so
time?
Fort Light just changed what the thing was, or I misread it, but he said, I was stuck between the combined time and them working together.
Is then I don't understand what the difference is.
Them working together on the same project, or them both doing the same project separately 2 different times?
No, it's, when you add the 2 rates together, it'll be the rate of them
working
as
together.
a team. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's different if they ask if they're at 2 different
Yeah.
places building this, or
Yeah.
if they're building it together.
I can do the spigot problem real quick if we want to do that. That's basically the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a little bit simpler. So this is for Fort Light, and who is Fort Light talking to?
Encryption.
Encryption.
I
Okay.
haven't seen encryption on the
Encryption
chat
was just
for a
in-
while, but they've definitely been on our Discord a lot.
Alright. So if we... Okay, we'll do that, and we'll do that.
All right.
If we have this nice old
The
spigot...
combined time of them working separately is the time when they work together.
I don't get how they can both work separately and both work together in the context of this problem. I don't know how that would change.
You have 2 people working to build a bridge, or you have
Yeah.
2 bridges being built.
Oh.
That is what they're asking.
Okay. It's not 2 bridges being built. It's 1 bridge being built by both people.
Because it's a rate.
Yeah.
If it was just x plus 15 equals 36, it would be 2 bridges.
Yeah.
But because they're having just the rates being combined, what's a good amount of questioning part of algebra?
In the next 30
Next
minutes?
30 minutes?
Okay, so first of all, it's number of questions, not amount of questions, because questions is countable. Just saying. 30. I think 30 might be good because then you're going at roughly the rate that maybe you should be going on the SAT.
For those types of questions.
But that being said, if you're getting harder questions, then that's fine too, and take your time. Make sure you're doing accuracy first, because you are, I forget what you said, but you're, a little bit of a ways out, 3 weeks out. Work on accuracy in math first, because it's hard to work on speed in math with only a couple weeks. Work on accuracy because you want to get rid of those simpler mistakes before you start trying to finish the entire the entire section, because the questions get hard.
But then you're doing tutoring. Well,
then I'm doing tutoring.
Hopefully they'd have some advice for you.
I would say 15 to 30 questions.
Yeah. Also, in terms of how to take the test, don't try, if you have not all the time in the world, if you are in a rush, you're hurried, you don't have enough time to finish all the questions, normally, you don't want to practice trying to finish them all. I would say don't do that on the actual test. What you want to do is answer every question you can, which means if you get to a question you don't know, I don't care if it's question 3, skip it and keep going, and then come back to it. You don't want to try to rush through the first 10 because they're supposed to be easier, and then on the last 5, spend most of your time there and make a simple mistake in the beginning, because all you did was shoot yourself in the foot. Every question is weighted the same, so don't try to think that you have to impress somebody by getting, question 15 right on the non-calculator. Because if you miss question 3, that's way more embarrassing than the impressiveness of answering 15 comparatively. Yeah. If you make a simple mistake because of that, then defeats the purpose.
All right, so where are you? Fort Light, you're here, and maybe whatever. Anyway, you have a big tank, or you have a tank. It has 2 spigots. If you open up just this spigot, let's call this one A, this one B. If you just open spigot A, the whole tank will empty in 3 hours. Then there's a slightly bigger spigot in spigot B, and if you open that one, the whole tank empties in 2 hours. So if you open both spigots at once, you're doing rates. If you add 2 rates together, that means it's going to be the rate on top of that. So it's the same thing as if, it's the same thing as the other problem. So what that means is we are emptying the whole tank, and let's say that the volume of the tank is X. Cubic liters, whatever, doesn't matter. And you are going to be able to empty X in 2 hours, and you're able to empty X in 3 hours. Yes, it would. Because of that, we're going to add these 2 together, and obviously this is just because this is a word problem with this scary, terrifying photo of a spigoted tank. You don't get to forget your fraction stuff. So when you're adding fractions, you have to find a common denominator. So this is going to become, 3. We're going to multiply by 3 over 3. We're going to multiply by 2 over 2. That equals 3x over 6 plus 2x over 6. And that equals 5x over 6. Now, we want to get it back from here. This takes a little bit of... Shoot, everything's ruined. They don't understand. So we're coming back to the x over 2 plus x over 3, and we want to make it look like this because we want to see what's the rate to empty one tank when you've added the rates of emptying one tank with both of the spigots on. So it's going to be 5x over 6. How do we make that look like this? Well, we will divide both sides by 5, or the top and the bottom by 5, and we're going to get x over 6/5. That's ugly. You can also... that's the way I would figure it out. So you have x over 6/5, which means that the time it takes to empty one tank if you open both spigots is going to be 1.2 hours, or 1 hour and 12 minutes, I guess, right? Right, a fifth of an hour is 12 minutes because 5 times 12 is 60. Do you have any questions about this? Hello, Jem. Does your tutor know how you're cheating on him? No, okay. Bird, was that you?
That was, yeah. Combined. Brendan thought of it.
Got it. Okay. If there are no questions on this, I'm gonna. Are you done, guys, with the math?
Yeah. There's 2 more.
There's other questions, but we can cover.
Yeah. Let's get to the vocab and context real quick. Okay.
That is the apple of doom.
Vocab and context questions. We're going to move through this nice and quickly. And let's see. These are very possibly very easy for you. Sometimes you might get them wrong. You should ideally, you have no excuse to get them wrong if you know the meaning of 3 out of the 4 answers. That's what I think. Because you can use process of elimination and you can ignore the original word. If the original word is something you don't know, it doesn't matter because it's not the answer. So, and it's not necessarily going to help you get to the answer because it's called vocab in context. Look at this, the title of our stream. It's vocab in context. And that's what we're doing. We're looking at context, not the original word. I actually ignore the original word as much as possible. It'll get into your head somehow. I meant like, what are these apostrophes, Apple? What are you doing? I'm doing the tutoring option in New World, like where it explains the answer for the equation. Okay. Ugh. Hey, who took the Wacom?
Yes.
Where is it?
It's on right in front of you.
It's very dark down there. Can one of you guys pull up the ACT? Actually, I got it.
Nope.
Don't worry about it. Okay, you worried about it. All right, we're going to lag a little bit. Gene's clumsy today. Okay, not as clumsy as your spelling. Clumsy? What is this? Come on, Fortnite.
Kind of got you there.
All right. Yeah, there you go, clumsy. As it is used in line 9, the word blank, don't pay attention to it, most nearly means, now you need to look at it so that you know what word you're looking to replace, but that's it. You hate you. You hate me. Whatever. It's okay. I don't think you do. I think you're just saying that. Ah. Okay, we're going to line number 9. We're looking for the word sweep. Here we go, so let's just read it. Where's the beginning of the sentence? Oh, yeah. Malabar? Whatever that is. I can't read it, sorry. And Kumbala Hills were our capital, and Palestine, the Braeborn Stadium, was our Coliseum. Oh, I get it. Okay. And as for the glittering Art Deco sweep of Marine Drive, well, that was something not even Rome could boast. Okay. We're dealing with context here. So we know that the author is describing, I think, Bombay, and she's just talking about it. All right? This is just part of her experience with Bombay, and then her childhood and her parents, and yada, yada, yada. So going back to the answer choices here for number 6. We don't care about the word sweep, okay? Because we're not sweeping anything, obviously. We're just going to look here what makes sense. Overwhelming victory. That is clearly a trap because we said Rome. That's why. We talk about victory, we talk about Rome and war, that's what they're talking about here, but that's not the point of this passage at all. It has nothing to do with war. It's about somebody's childhood in Bombay. That means that I don't like the word victory, and I also don't like the word overwhelming. Well, maybe overwhelming's fine. Let's leave that. Then we have wide-ranging search. Okay, going back, you can check. Search has nothing to do with it. Nobody's searching for anything. It's not that they can't find anything. So B is also wrong because search is no good. Then we have complete removal. No, it's not removing anything. So that's also wrong. And then we're left with D, broad area. Yes, now broad area is pretty boring. It's not a particularly good description of anything, and I wouldn't like that answer normally because it's pretty vague. It's not specific enough to make this passage interesting. But there's nothing wrong with it inherently. It doesn't go way out of context. It's just not a very good descriptor. That means that D is our answer. If you have questions with that, let me know. If you have another way of doing the vocab in context, let me know. But don't do it that way. Do it my way because it's better.
Wow.
Yeah. And everybody agrees with that.
I don't know.
You do know, Brendan.
It's kind of one-sided. Why not substitution, my lord?
Substitution, my lord.
He is substituting.
No, I don't substitute normally.
For vocab and context?
I do at the end, maybe, but that's not where I start. I don't like to start with substituting. I like to start with going back to the passage and figuring out what works and what doesn't. In this case, it's all about elimination. Now we'll go down to number 9, and then we're done. We'll go back to math or whatever you people want to do. As it is used in line 38, the phrase drew up most nearly means what? Drew up. 39, sorry. 38. But Jeans, won't your method for vocab take too long sometimes? No, it won't.
I don't know. It sounds pretty slow to me.
You sound pretty slow to me. No, I don't think that it's going to be too slow because you should be proving You should be proving 3 wrong anyway. If you're not proving 3 wrong, then you might be missing a possible answer, and that's not where we want to be. Go with accuracy first.
No, actually.
What?
That insult wasn't me, not at you, Fortlight.
Oh yeah, sorry.
In case that was unclear.
That was unclear. I was insulting Brendan.
You were looking
not
at
you,
the
Fortlight.
camera.
Now, I may or may not respect you, Fortlight, but I was actively insulting Brendan. Okay.
Come on, Jeans.
Yeah.
You're not even wearing jeans.
Now, 38. Yeah, I didn't make up the nickname, though. 38 is down towards the bottom. Nope, that bottom. Yes. Bombay was my rival. It loved her... What? It was... I am so dyslexic. Not really, though. It was on account of their romance with the city that they drew up that weekly rota list of shared parental responsibilities. So they drew up a list. We're going to replace that with our own word without even looking at the answer choices because I think that's fun. If you draw up a list, you are writing down a list, you're taking down notes, something like that. You're drawing something up, designing something, but we're drawing up a list specifically. So let's keep that in mind. I said I may or may not respect you. I left it ambiguous. That's what I did.
I got you. I corrected.
Oh, you did. May or may not. There you go. Context clues. Vocab and context clues. Extended. I don't think extended makes sense here because they're not extending a list. This is actually the first introduction of the list. It's not being amended. So I don't like extended. Prepared. Prepared is fine, I think. I don't know why you would prepare one necessarily, but I think that's okay. So let's get rid of extended. Nah. And prepared is fine. Approached. I don't think that works. You're not approaching a list. That sounds too physical. I don't like approached. And then straightened. Nah, I wouldn't. There's drew up, straightened out, but even that doesn't work here. I would go with C. B. I said C, but I did B. So do as I do, not as I say. Okay, I gave him his nickname and he breaks my heart.
In all fairness, you're not the first person to call him that. I'm sorry.
That's very true. Let's get rid of this, and we can now open up to questions about anything.
All right, we've got a few.
Oh, we got a few questions. Okay.
Yes, we do. I'm going to do them real quick.
Okay, I feel as though people sometimes forget this. Brendan's personal life is totally above board.
Cool.
You can do that.
Above
Brendan wants
board?
to talk about that.
That's a weird way to say it.
No, it's not. It's fine.
Well, hold on. It's a good line there for calling him Jeans because his name is Levi, like Levi Brand Jeans. But to say you're the first person to ever think of something, you'll almost never be the first person to think of something.
Something, Goodwill Hunting, but at least I'm not unoriginal. Right? Didn't he say that?
Yeah. So we have an equation for line P. Boop. You have y equals 0.12. Oh, stop.
I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything.
Levi,
Focus.
don't make me get angry on stream.
Ooh, speaking of focus.
You're turning green.
The slope of line N.
Foci.
No. It's foci.
It's Foci.
It is.
It's Foci. Let's be real. I'm back. My internet disconnected. No, that was us, Finroy. Don't worry.
It wasn't. Sorry, Vinroy. All right, the slope of line... Oh, and you're just in time. All right, we have line P is y equals 0.12x plus 3,000, and the slope of line N is 0.1 greater. And I'm asking, what is that slope? Yes, and hey, Long, welcome back. No, not right now. We're not. Sorry, they're goofing about it. If you want, we can add that to the queue, and I can go over that. But you let me know. We're trying to find the slope. If this is our equation, we know that the slope of line N is 0.1 greater. We need to recognize what the slope is. Yes. So we have this in y equals mx plus b form, which is point slope. No, not point slope. It is slope intercept. Thank you. where m is the slope, meaning 0.12 is our slope. We're going to add 0.1 to that, and we get 0.22. To Jerry, Fort Light was correct. But yeah, long NL, if you want, we can go over foci right now. You let me know. Foci.
Foci.
Ask us your questions. Actually, I'll go ahead and plug again.
Oh.
We have, I just finished watching the stream from 3 days ago at Matrices and foci, so you're good. Great. Glad to hear it. We can go over Vinroy's next question. I guess we'll wait a minute since we just did his first one. If you guys have any questions, you can ask them in the chat. You can go down below to our Discord. You can enter it in there. You can join our Discord. You can follow us. You can subscribe if you have Twitch Prime. And if you don't have Twitch Prime, you can be like Vinroy and be a bro and also subscribe. We have our Facebook and our YouTube stuff linked down below. We now have our prices for one-on-one tutoring or private tutoring down below. All that, because we don't just do this for free. Well, this is always free, but we do one-on-one as well.
And it always will be.
Yeah, this will be.
Just like Facebook.
Yeah, exactly.
We're just going to take all your personal information and sell it.
We don't get any personal information from this.
Well, we get some from you.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
think
you
Long
guys are-
NL's parents named Long NL Long NL. That's
But
what I
why?
think.
Long and L.
All right.
It's like Lionel.
Spiel over. We have
Longitudinal.
this weird shape that is drawn.
Oof.
Yeah, who are you to say that's a weird shape? I think it's a really cool shape.
Anyway.
Looks like a flag.
A, B,
There's a flag.
C, D, E.
A,
Y
B,
este
C, D.
ángulo. I'm not going to even try it in Spanish.
Something, something, Dondolo. Something, something, Dondolo.
A, B, entándalo. C, D,
Da, 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 dándolo.
Despacito.
A, E. Bisects.
Brendan is fluent in Spanish.
Fluent?
word?
I wouldn't say fluent, no. I used to be pretty good. I almost got a minor in it in college, and then I thought I was going to get a master's. So I stopped taking Spanish classes, and here I am without a master's degree. I actually just unenrolled officially not too long ago.
You peasant.
I know.
It's painfully evident that Brendan doesn't have a master's degree. He
Super.
just kind of carries
I mean,
it
look at
around
him.
with him. The fact that he doesn't have one.
You
all
see
the
it.
time.
Had a lot of tension in his traps.
The Lord of the Traps is what we call him because of his traps.
I hate both of you.
My
ACD.
lord! Why not the traps, my lord?
Meaning, this angle and this angle are the same. We have boom, 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 boom. That's what it means when they bisect the angle, they cut it in half. We also now know, what do they tell us here? That BAC
Back. Turn around.
equals
BAC,
82 degrees. Angle back is 82 degrees.
You guys get it?
What is the measure of AEC? We want this, X degrees. All right?
Are we helping?
I don't know. Are you?
I have to leave soon because I'm tutoring one-on-one, which is something that we do.
Are you tutoring tonight?
For not free.
Who are you tutoring?
Yes, I am.
Probably not a
I
real
will
name.
not say
Probably
his
not-
name. Now
So
you
it's
know
a,
it's...
so it's a
Yes, we've
guy.
narrowed it down to 50% of the population.
Oof.
Oof.
Well, that's only if it's the U.S. Some places it's different. Okay, we have that these lines are parallel.
There you go.
AE bisects this. So we know that these angles here are going to be 41 and 41. The reason we know that is because AE bisects BAC. If the whole thing is 82, cut in half, it's 41 and 41. Great. Now, what do we have here? I'm going to go ahead and draw this differently. We have a line and some line looking like this. I'm going to make it a little more thing. We don't know. This is not 90 degrees, obviously. So we have that this is A and C, and we'll say D somewhere over here and B somewhere over here. These are parallel. Get it out. Now, why did I do this? Because if you've seen our video on angles that I did, my old high school teacher,
Mr.
shout out to Mr. Livingood. I thought you were going to say it. You did.
I forgot.
Mr. Livingood. He did Z for Zorro, and it is a backwards Z, but that's okay. We know that this angle, same as this angle, and this angle is the same as this angle. All right? Now, we also know that y plus x is 180 degrees. Meaning, if this angle here, x, that we have here, is this angle, 82 degrees, this is 82 degrees, meaning this angle here, this whole angle, is going to be 180 minus 82, or 98 degrees.
It's the supplement.
It's the supplement.
Oh, I love the supplement.
And the way you can remember those, you have S for supplement and C for complement. Boop, 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 boop. Or complementary. Boop, 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 boop. That's how I like to remember it. Yeah, we know this is 98, meaning this is 49. And you have 41 and 49. Is 90? Yeah. So this is 90 degrees.
Vinroy's got it.
Great.
Yes.
Okay.
Good old supplements.
Yeah, the mints.
The mints.
Not as good as mints, but yes, they are there. Can you grab me the spray?
Yes. All right, guys.
I thought we had another spray somewhere.
I'm gonna hit the dusty trail. I got some tutoring to do. Pretty exciting. People really like our tutoring. We've heard that.
That's all right.
From plenty of our customers.
All right.
Anyway.
There's a spiel and then there's milk in it. If they like us, they like us. If they don't, they don't. It's fine. We're giving them a free service. They don't
Do
gotta.
we have something coming up next or no?
No, but now I'm nervous.
Nervoso.
See, that's funny.
How much do sessions? How many sessions? Because sessions are countable, so it's how
Hi,
many,
Guy.
not how much. Just so you know, Guy. How many sessions do students usually get from you guys?
It depends on when the test is that they're trying to study for.
Yeah.
Normally, it's anywhere
From
from
100 to 200 sessions.
no,
4
anywhere-
hours a day.
May I actually tell them the truth, or are you
probably
just gonna?
should. Yeah, I just
goof
like
around?
lying.
But this is something that actually okay. Guy, it would be anywhere from 6 to 12 is normally what we go with. But it also depends student to student. So that would be 6 weeks to 12 weeks. Just one session a week is normally what we do.
Jem, I do not have a brother that works in lit. I have a brother that works at a bank.
Works
so
in tech.
if you happen to go to a bank for your literature class, he might teach you, but I doubt it.
Why is that insane, Guy?
That's insane. What's insane?
Are six sessions or 12 sessions?
Oh, I mean, you can do more
If that's not a lot.
or fewer.
If that's too many?
Yes, you can't do less. You can do fewer sessions.
What he said. I'm not sure if that's insane because it's not a lot or it is a lot. I mean, it's definitely way less than Huntington, Kaplan, Princeton, all those other garbage tutoring companies. Did I say garbage?
You did say garbage.
Good, that's what I meant. Each session.
Not for you.
So if you come in through Twitch, our standard rates for our standard tutors, we have another tutor that works with us, is 60 an hour instead of 80 an hour. If you work with Brady, Levi, or I, it's 120. That is all down below.
Yes, but you get this for free.
You do.
So Princeton and Kaplan.
Princeton, I hear, is a good college.
Their material.
That's not what I meant.
Yeah. I mean, you can go there and try to get tutoring. The
No,
material is better than not having the material, but there's a lot of free material that's official, which I would recommend doing first, and then practicing on things like UWorld and Princeton Review and Kaplan.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
and they have great companies that work really well as companies that make a lot of money. But
that
they
is what
employ
they're
tutors,
focused on.
They employ tutors who don't have any idea what they're doing, and they don't pay them well, so there's no incentive for the tutors to be a good tutor, and a lot of them are terrible. Some of them are good. Some of them are certainly good.
They're just
Good.
very underpaid. They're getting paid $15 to $20 an hour, and you're paying about $80 to $100 an hour for them. And so you kind of get what they're getting paid for. Not what you pay for, but what they're getting paid, right? If you were going to pay someone $20 an hour for tutoring, that is effectively what you're going to get. Some of them are better, and some will get paid a little bit more, but they underpay because it's just, for them, it's just a farm.
Yeah.
They just...
We do recommend con. I would recommend going to all of these places as long as it's free for you. Don't get yourself gouged for whatever it might be. But the official material is way better than anything else, and anything you do that's outside of the official material, which I would recommend, you should compare especially the way they word questions and the types of passages they use. Compare that to the actual test to know that you are not having trouble understanding something that's not actually on the official tests.
Yeah, so I think UWorld so far, from what I've seen, has a lot of good questions. Some that are more difficult, which can be helpful. Some that are as difficult as some of the hardest questions you might see on the SAT or ACT, which is helpful, so that you're more prepared for those. However, some of the things are not worded the same way, and that can be confusing. So just make sure to use a lot of different resources.
Guy, I don't know what that is. I don't know what it is. It's maybe it's a prep service. Give it a shot, especially if it's free. We recommend everything that's free because it's free. I hate my internet so much right now.
That sounds personal, man.
Yeah.
What did it ever do to you? It's probably what it didn't do for him.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
Bits on bits. Trivia HQ break.
BRB instead of BRV.
Be right Ver. Be right.
Yeah, there.
Vac.
All
Anyway.
right. Any other questions you guys have? Guy, if you want to know more, you can, I guess, message us on the Discord or something. But yeah, let's see. I don't think we have any more Discord questions.
Good. This marker works. Ah, sure. Yes, my questions are in Discord.
Oh.
Very good, since nobody else has them. Yeah. Hey, be like Vinroy. Ask questions.
For both questions, I like how he knows. If no more come in, can you answer both of these?
Are they
Which
picture
test
books?
is this from? This is from one of the ACTs, because they don't do this on the SAT.
Whoa. That is ugly.
Mm-hmm.
How many are the square and square?
That's gross. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it is technically 8 triangles coming out of there. So yeah, it's 2 squares.
This is not drawn to scale,
And that is okay.
which you can really tell by how not drawn to scale this is.
All right. Okay.
Assume
so
that
this-
all of these things are regular and it looks nicer. What's the question?
So
We're actually... Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, sorry. The figure below shows the design of a circular stained glass panel on display. Seams separate the piece of the panel. Each piece of the panel. So, okay. All red triangular pieces shown. Oh, great. Are shown. Are congruent and have a common vertex with each of the adjoining triangular pieces.
Yo, I don't know. The
Okay.
design of the stained glass panel has how many
The
lines
2
of
squares.
symmetry?
Yeah. Okay. So all of the triangles are red. All of the space outside is orange. And then the middle is yellow.
Yeah.
Ouch. Which we'll use blue for.
Yeah, I was just gonna say satanic ritual. Very much so at Longinol. Longinol. Wait, so what's red?
Red are the triangles. Boom,
Okay.
boom. And then orange is all the parts of the circle outside. So the design of the stained glass panel has how many lines of symmetry in the plane of the panel?
Okay, so it's just this plane. You're not gonna do a line of symmetry that's kind of going that way. You know, I don't know.
That's
if
what
you
that
use,
means, yeah.
Through there. It's just on the piece of paper or on the giant piece of glass that you spent a lot of money on. Okay. For lines of symmetry, you want both sides to be symmetrical. You know, the mirror. Yeah, you know this. Now, that would mean that we can't
see
really
this?
do it at an angle if we're cutting through here. That wouldn't make sense. But we want to cut through right at the tip because then we have that triangle right there and that'll work all the way through. And then also we can cut right where these two meet right there, and that's another one. Which means that for every single triangle we have the middle and then the right side, because the next one will get the middle and the right side will get that one. I don't think there are any other lines of symmetry in this plane.
Meaning 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah,
5, 6,
you got 8,
7,
so
8.
16. Yeah. You got 8
No.
triangles. What?
No.
Oh, sorry, 8.
8,
Just
because when you get back to here
Yeah.
and you start counting, you're doubling the lines, so you're double
Yeah.
counting them.
So you have to watch out for that next time.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. Get out of
Be
here.
aware.
But yeah, so each vertex you're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you have already drawn this in lines that will connect to this half of them. Yeah, you double count them. All right, long and L. You don't
Longinol.
yes. Long
I'm
and
going to erase this.
You found the average, but don't really understand how to get the median. Okay, yeah, go ahead. A set of numbers has mean at the
The Windex bottle, or
I like
the
this.
blank bottle, is so top heavy now.
All right. So we have a set of 7 numbers, which are as follows. A. I'll do A and not alpha because it's easier. 15, 5, 31, 29, 52, 43. And has a mean 30. That's important. All right, this
Very.
marker's not working great. I'm going to switch it real quick. We now have, you're right, I want to use a different color for the second set.
Yeah, you do.
We have a set of 4, and we have, I'm going to do B and not beta, because again, a little simpler here. 32, I'm going to say this is Khan Academy.
As long as he's typing, I want to say this to you. Longinol, you made a good use of amount versus number because you have amount of data. Data is uncountable. You don't have 3 data. You have 3 data points, so you'd have a number of data points and amount of data. Yay.
All right, this one, oh, I like this already. Okay, now what we're trying to solve, if you can, if possible. So find, I'm going to go over by you so I can have space for this, Levi. You want to find A plus B. All right, now let me double check that I read this right. 7 numbers. Yep. Okay. The important part here, yes, exactly, it is. That's what's going to be challenging here. Let's solve for A real quick. Yes, Jem, that should be it. What are you doing?
I need to see something. It's fine, don't worry about it.
Okay. It's just making this all.
I understand.
Got it. We now have A, to find the median here, or the mean. You would have 30 equals the sum of all these values over 7. Meaning we would add all these up, which, Levi, do you have a calculator? I guess not. I wish I would have brought that down. This is aggravating.
I can do...
I'm already doing it.
Okay.
So we have 175, and I'm going to go ahead and multiply this over to do this. So I have 7 times 30 is 210 equals 175 plus A. Okay? We then have that this is just going to be 35. We're good. Let's move on. Now the median, if we have 4 numbers here, an even amount of numbers, I think Jem has this, I just haven't looked closely at what they're saying. We know that the 2 middle numbers are going to be 32 and something, right? This is our largest number possibly. This is our smallest number. This is the next smallest number, and this could either be between 32 and 89, between 32 and 2, or greater than 89. Now, because we know the median is 51, we know that it's not going to be greater than 89, but it's definitely going to be greater. B is definitely going to be greater than 32. So it's going to be between 32 and 89. All right? Now, if I want to find the median of 2 numbers, I'm going to say, if it's an even set, I'm going to take the 2 numbers that are closest to the middle, the 2 middle numbers, and find the average. So I have 32 plus B divided by 2 equals 51. Meaning I have 32 plus B equals 102. B equals 70. A plus B should be 105. Is that what you had? Yeah, great. Does that make sense, Long and L? Are there any questions on this? All right. Great. You have the spray? There it is. There's one that's more full. Thanks. Yeah, keep entering for that giveaway, guys. If you're seniors, get help on that college app essay.
Or don't.
Yeah, or don't. I mean, it doesn't change us. I mean, if you
It
don't
is
wanna
feasible I say something that messes it up, but I doubt it.
it's always a possibility.
It's always a possibility. You also don't have to do what I tell you, or I suggest things. That's it. I ask you questions. Ask exec, or whomever else I've suggested.
I Crush Dreams, right?
I haven't worked with iCrush yet.
What? I Crush Dreams, get on it, guy. Or girl. I don't actually know.
All right, time for your second question.
I don't want to draw that again.
Is it the same thing?
Yeah.
I don't really want to do it either. What is the area of the stained glass panel to the nearest 0.1 square foot? Stained glass panel.
I mean, is that any part of the color? Because it's just a circle with a diameter of 2 feet.
Hey, this, there we go. If you, just so you know, this should help you a bit, Vinroy. If you have a square that is inscribed in a circle, you know that this line is the diameter of the circle, and it's also the diagonal of the square. So if you know that this is, let's say the radius of the circle is 2, then you know the diameter is 4. So you know this is 4, and then you have this. You have a 45, 45, 90 triangle, and then you can make this 4 rad 2 over 2, which is 2 rad 2, and then you can figure things out from there. I'm not exactly sure what the question was, but Brendan is right. We do not want to draw this.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is asking for the area of the circle in general, because that's a little too simple. It's just going to be the area is pi r squared. We know that there's going to be pi. And that doesn't seem to be, that would be a, but I don't think that's what they're asking. The two squares shown are inscribed in the circle. Seams separate each piece of the panel. Doesn't make sense. All red triangle pieces are shown congruent. Common vertex. I would say the whole stained glass panel, I'm not sure if they're just talking about the red pieces. Everything has a color. So I would say the whole thing is a stained glass, and then you have the area of a circle.
Are all triangles formed from the diagonal of a square? Yes,
Yeah.
because you have a square, all of these are 90 degrees, and you're cutting them right in half when you make a diagonal through a regular polygon. So these have to be the same. You have 45, 45, 90 no matter what. In a square. In a rectangle, that's not the case because it's not a regular polygon.
Then yes, Vinroy, this is a lot simpler than it looks. You have this, and they tell you that the diameter is 2 feet. Right? And they want the area of the entire stained glass window.
Yeah.
The whole circle has color on it, so I'd assume the whole thing is stained glass. You have the area of a circle equals pi r squared. Diameter equals 2 feet. Radius equals 1 foot. 1 squared times pi equals pi, which is roughly 3.14. To the nearest 0.1 feet is 3.1.
I lied before. It's not because it's a regular polygon, because you can have different diagonals, but you're cutting...
If it's a square, it is.
If it's a square, it works well because you're cutting... You happen to be cutting these two in half because this angle here that you've made here and this angle here have to be equal to each other. So that means that they're the same, and then you can...
for quadrilateral.
There are a bunch of ways you can go about it. I was confused by all the points inside the circle. Yes,
Yeah.
You're confused by stuff. Don't do that. The way to not do that and to not get confused is to break it down. You don't need to know all the rules about whatever that picture was, which was a circle with two squares inside of it, which made triangles. You don't have to know that. You need to know circles and triangles. That's basically what you need to know for the test. Those two shapes.
Yeah, Fortlight, I have only 2 digits of pi memorized because I think it's useless information. You have a calculator for that, and you have Google for that.
I think it's
a really foolish, childish way to try to sound like you're smart by memorizing a bunch of things that no one will ever need to know.
But if
you do
it, fine.
That is what I'm
And
calling you.
fun.
A childish...
No,
what he
Brendan,
said.
Brendan,
That just
off,
means...
Off. Bad, Brendan. Don't fall, please. Okay. Is it possible to find the area of the yellow piece? Yep.
It definitely is.
Yep. Give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean... It would just be the edges of it. You would know that it's going to be... I'm not going to get into it.
But will I?
I mean, good luck. I just don't feel like it.
It's going to be...
Because they will not ask this on the
figure it out.
test.
I think it's good practice with stuff. So we know that everything is 2, so we know that this is... It was 2, right?
2.
So this is going to be 2 this side right here is going to be, because that's the 45, 45, 90, it's going to be 2 divided by rad 2, which is going to be just multiply each by rad 2. You get rad 2.
For the whole thing.
Yep, so this side is rad 2. This side is rad 2. And then let's see what else we can do.
How do you know how to break it down into
What is the yellow?
This.
That's the yellow. Okay, so that's rad 2. We know that the center is here of this thing now. We know that this side is rad 2. And then you can figure it out from there. You have a regular, whatever this is. What is it, 8 sides? So this is an octagon. You have an octagon with side length of rad 2. The area of a regular polygon is the apothem times the perimeter. You have the perimeter. You can figure out the apothem, which is basically... I mean, you could figure it out different ways, but you have an octagon, and I don't really want to...
One more.
That's not an octagon.
Well, if you... no.
Whatever. An octagon is going to have 8 triangles that make it up, right? So this is going to be rad 2 on that outside. Like, imagine you have 8 more going around like that. This angle is going to be 1/8 of the 360 degrees. So 1/8 of 360 is whatever that is. I don't know.
36.
2016? No. 15? No. What am I saying?
45.
45?
If you take
360 divided by 8 is the same as 400 divided by 8, which is 50 minus 40, which is minus 5. So 45. Yeah. Okay. So this is 45 degrees, as I told you, Brendan. So you have a triangle that's 45 degrees. These two lengths are the same. This one is rad 2. If these two lengths are the same, then these two sides are the same, which ends up being a 45, 45, 45 triangle. It's equilateral. You find the area of the equilateral triangle, you can add them all up.
That's not true.
That's not true. So this would be 45, 135, whatever that is, 67.5. And you can figure it out, find the area of that triangle, and then multiply it by 8. It doesn't really matter. Good thing I'm here to catch all your mistakes, Brendan.
Yep.
Jeez.
I'd be lost without you.
So there are a bunch of ways to do that. Nothing that hard will be on the test. I
No,
assume.
it won't.
Or it might be, and then we're wrong.
And
you are out of luck.
And then everybody's out of luck. That might be on math too, but it won't be on the. It should not be on the regular SAT. All right. Science timing. Yes, for like we do have tips or strategies.
Thank you.
For the ACT
you
timing.
You can give tips. There are no tricks.
No, you were very adamant about the word tip being like, I hate that. It's strategies.
Nah.
All right, guys, some tips. What you want to do is not read anything except the questions, and then you read only where it points you. So, for like, let me ask you. Well, you asked this to Jeans, but I'm going to answer it. Weird Shorts dude is going to answer it. All right? Do you read the passages on the science? Do you read it first, and then you go through the questions, similar to how you might on the reading section? Now, this is supposed to be a back and forth. Yes, you do. Don't. I promise you that's going to help with your timing. Absolutely. I have students who will consistently jump 2 to 3 points on the science because of just this one tip. I can't even make it sales pitchy.
This one tip.
This one tip will save you, get you so many points
ACT.
on the ACT science section. Just don't read it. So you want to go through the questions. Actually, let's pull this up real quick.
Yeah.
Let's help you make sense of us being dumb and not really making much sense here. Oh, that's not what I wanted. All right. All rise for the Honorable Judge Judy. All right, here we go. All right, Fort Light, pay attention, por favor. We're looking right here. Science section, passage 1, study 1, study 2. I don't care. I'm going to go right here, and I'm going to look at question 1. In which of studies 1 and 2, okay, that's where I'm going to be looking here, did some of the fruit flies live more than 75 days, and what were those fruit flies fed? I don't know. I haven't seen this yet. Let's see what I want to look at. Okay. Well, we've got some graphs. What do we got? We've got days. They're definitely talking about days here. We've got percent alive. They're talking about that over here. They're talking about who's dead and who's alive. More than 75 days. This graph tells me that. I didn't need to read anything. I'm just going to go and say, well, okay, 55 days, everything looks dead in study 1, so I don't want that. Oh, but over here in figure 2, you have maybe this top line. I don't know about this bottom line that's meeting there. This other line looks like, should you read the reading section the same way you do the science section? No. No. You need to actually skim that at the very least so you have an idea of what's going on. But so what I would do here is I'd say, well, this one looks like it's above 75. They're not all dead. I'm going to look up here, and that looks like the circle one, which means it would be whatever this thing is, 5% SY medium. Okay, does that matter? Hey, study 2, 5% SY medium sees the answer. I read nothing except a couple of graphs. That's how you want to go through this whole thing. We call it following the path. So the second question, during studies 1 and 2, why did the size of fruit fly population each tube decrease rather than increase? Okay, let's see where they're talking about this increasing or decreasing. That's study 3, I don't care. The size of the fruit fly population decreased rather than increase. Why did that happen? This doesn't say right here. Let's go ahead and read through this. Test tubes. All right, I see test tubes here. I see tubes here. Okay, right here, actually. They're virgin female flies. Well, the population can't increase ever if they're only virgin female flies, which is the same thing here. If they're never going to reproduce, they're only going to decrease. They're only going to die out. That's a pretty sad life. Meaning, look at this. The birth rate was 0. Birth rate was 0. The death rate was 0. The death rate was 0. Well, H and J are just gone immediately. I don't care about the death rate. And they can't be 0 if they're dying. All right. So why did it decrease rather than increase? It was 0 because the initial population was only males? No. But B is correct because, or G, I guess, because they're only virgin females. This is how you want to go through this. I'm slowing it down to be able to explain this, but this is going to go real quick. I would say take a practice. Thank you, Levi. Do a practice passage or two in the science section to get used to it, and then take an actual test to see how you do. But you don't need to read almost any of the science section. And I would say save the, what do we call it, conflicting viewpoints passage for last. Is getting a constant 72% on New World writing good? Not a clue, but the rest of the chat, help him out.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Jerry, so what Brandon was saying, I'll just repeat everything.
Oh, God. Please don't.
No, don't read the passage.
Also, guys, keep entering for the raffle.
If you were confused at all about how Brendan was working through that logically,
yes,
he was starting with the question and defining everything for himself. So any term, including something as obvious as
independent.
Study 1. Yes. You're very independent. Yes, you are. Come here.
Get out of here. All right. Okay. There is a limit.
I was going to rip your little noggin.
That's the limit.
Okay. Grab you by the scruff of the neck. Okay, you want to do Vinro's question?
Yeah, I can get that.
Okay. I'll write up the answers if you want to.
I have not looked at it, but...
Yeah. So you can just do them as I write them because it's actually pretty
But we have x is greater than 1, y is less than -1.
Yeah, does it work if I change that sign, do you think? And write it the wrong way, or no? I just wrote it wrong. That's all. That's all.
Okay. Now,
X over Y. It's greater than 1.
Yeah, I would say, Guy, the real thing, when you're using any of these free resources, us included, that aren't the actual test, you can't know what your improvement is until you test it on those topics. Right now, we know what is covered on the test, and we go through the practice tests here, but we can't tell you how much you're improving without you actually going and trying it. So, UWorld, what you want to be finding is what topics are you missing? What is that other 28% you're missing? And see if that falls into anything on the test. Ideally, it will. I'm assuming they're making their product effectively. And if they are, then look over what you've missed, and those are the things you now need to be studying. And if you want to know if any of that is actually on the test, you can ask us here, and we'll tell you what things they have you covering or not covering are not useful for the test. All right. So x and y are real numbers such that x is greater than 1, y is less than -1. Which of the following inequalities must be true? Okay. Is x over y greater than 1? Well, if I have a positive number over a negative number, it has to be negative. Right? So for this one, I'm just going to go ahead and prove this right or wrong. Hold on, Fortnite. I haven't even looked at it yet. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. All right. Is x squared, the absolute value of x squared, greater than the absolute value of y? It could be, but I'm going to see if I can prove that wrong. What if I have x equals 1 and y equals -2? Whoops, there we go. I then have the square root of 1 is greater than 2, which is wrong. So I'm going to say B is wrong.
Not the square root, the square of 1.
Sorry, 1 squared. Thank you. Looks like C instantly.
Yeah. There are 2 others. I just didn't write them up.
There are also 5 options here, guys. He just didn't want to write it after that.
But that's right.
Yeah, and this, look, if you know how to do this, kudos to you. Good job, guys. But Vinroy, we're trying to help him out on why he missed this, what he doesn't get, what he does. What you're trying to do with these, you're trying to recognize that you need to go and prove these wrong, disprove them, right? This one should be the simplest one to get rid of. As you go through, you should just easily be able to, maybe not easily, but you should be able to find counter examples. So for C, I'm plugging in numbers to check. Yes, Jim, that is what you should be doing, right? So if I have x as a positive number and y as a negative number, they're both the same thing, -5, so I can ignore these -5s here, actually, and just think of it as x over 3 is greater than y over 3. A positive number over 3 has to be greater than a negative number over 3, so C is the correct answer. Check mark? I don't know. And then the other ones can't be right because C is. But that is what you want to be doing. It looks like C instantly. Then you have good recognition, Guy.
Yeah, if you can't tell right away, I think this is not exactly the type of problem that you'd see. They don't make it quite so obvious, especially on the SAT. Although Vinroy doesn't have to worry about the SAT. You have 2 options. you look for counterexamples, or you mess with the equation or inequality that's given in the answer or given in the question. See what you can do by manipulating that thing. In this case, for C, you can't come up with a counterexample, and that might take a while because you're trying to prove things wrong, and then you get to the one that's correct, and you take too long to try to prove it wrong because you don't know what it says. In this case, Brandon added 5. You could also multiply by 3 after that, and you have that x is greater than y.
Yep.
And
it has to be
It was
true.
obvious at that point.
Okay. Do you guys think you should take the SAT once, even though you've only taken and prepped for the SAT? I think there are a lot of things that are similar. I would say definitely take a practice one if you want to. There's a chance that the ACT is better for you than the SAT, and vice versa. So I would say definitely take a practice test and do it timed and see how you do. And if you enjoy it more, you think it's more suited towards you and how you tend to study and how you tend to work, then it may be better for you to do that. And I would just say make sure you're practicing and be aware of how to take the science section, which I just went over for Fort Light. You can get confused when there are too many numbers, letters at once. Yeah. I would say, Vinroy, try to break it down into each answer at a time and try to understand what each one actually means, what the absolute value is, what, if you're squaring the value, all of that.
Yeah, if you get one of these questions, these are very logical questions. Try to put them into some actual concept for yourself. So when we say x is greater than 0, think of that as two different things. X is always bigger than 0. Also, x is a positive number.
It's not too late to sign up, I don't think. I think it's just going to give you a late fee. Someone else can quote me on that or correct me on that, I mean.
You can also quote him, though.
Yeah, don't quote me if I'm wrong, though. You should be able to sign up for a late fee, which is like maybe $20 if you want. Yeah, so it's still the late fee. Thanks, Long and Out. If you want, you can take it. If you feel comfortable or happy with your SAT, I'm assuming maybe you're a senior if you're last minute trying to get another test in. It can't hurt. It might be $40. Don't quote me on the price. Guys, I haven't taken the ACT in 9 years. No, like 7, 8 years.
I mean, you've done a lot of them.
I've done a lot of them, but I haven't paid to go and take one in so long. I can't. Sorry, can't help you there.
You can, if it's 35, you can pay him 40 if that makes you more comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or take that $5, throw it up there at the
Go ahead.
Subscribe
there
to our channel.
That was really good. That was really classy.
I did
you did well. You did well. December is your last one. Then you got plenty of times. Are you Stanford grad or undergrad? Shorts. Are you Stanford grad? I graduated, so I am a Stanford graduate. I was in the grad program. A master's program for electrical engineering, and then I decided I didn't want to do that because I didn't like it. So that happened. Don't hate me for that, I guess. But
I hate you for that.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's not why I hate you.
I was in it, and I didn't like it, so I quit. Like most things in life, I've quit them. Wait, how's his name Shorts now? What? Because I wear goofy shorts, apparently? Like, these are, I don't know.
These are not goofy.
These are, I don't know.
Put them away.
I'm standing on my, what?
Very
Come on.
Upsetting. What?
But yeah, we all did undergrad at Stanford. I don't think... No, you guys didn't do masters either. No.
Did not do a master's.
I started it and decided better.
Gonna be the very
I moved to
best.
New York and started bussing tables.
To catch them is my real quest.
In the maze, my cause.
I'm a Pokemon master! Okay.
Trying to go to UCR?
UC Riverside? UC Riverside?
That sounds good.
Made
well,
it
I
up.
moved to New
Not a real
York
school.
in general because I liked New York and I wanted to move here and I
It's
didn't know
pretty.
what
There's a lot of green.
Careful.
There's
Okay.
a lot of green.
I wasn't sure where you were going.
Predominantly downtown near Wall Street.
So much
It's in
grass and
paper
trees.
form.
That.
It's not gold backed anymore. It's a big problem.
Anyway, why move to New York in general? Because I like it. I like it here. I wanted to
That's
live
where you
here
get light
and
boards.
I wanted to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And here we are. Now I'm tutoring for free.
Now you found it.
Kid, that's not how this works.
You're gonna do this forever. Till the day you die.
Nah,
Could be tomorrow.
I
You
like
might
the
die
business stuff. Business. I like business.
Business, man. Okay. Anybody have any questions? Brandon's personal life, that was good. You're doing a good job, everybody, but we want to get the people who aren't taking that subject test to learn something tonight. So ACT, SAT, math, reading, science, writing, English, whatever it is.
I'm going to grab my phone real quick.
Yes, sir. I'll go to this side now.
Okay.
Whoa. What's that say? Really bipolar weather today. Yes. You've personified weather.
Doing a math problem? That's... Man, I hope... Yeah, my knees are probably going to be pretty bad by the time I'm 80. Kane's probably accurate.
Yeah. Hey, look...
SAT Brendan... Yeah, there's a link of that in our Discord somewhere. Scotta posted that.
Yeah,
It was
it's a long
pretty
time ago.
hilarious. Instead of a glass screen, it could be VR.
Yes, Brendan could be in the headset talking to you.
Are my arms heavy, though, the Apple of Doom?
Ugh.
Vomit on his sweater already. Mom spaghetti. And on the service, he was Mom spaghetti. Have you seen that where they just, every last line, they just replace it with spaghetti?
Hey,
all right.
baby. Ain't no easy
Won't
way
you
out.
know?
Let's think of something. Hey.
Said I want you to know. Time for a raffle? What time is it?
Oh. Good call, Fortlight. Yeah, we don't
Yes,
have
so.
to make up things.
All right, everybody, enter in if you want. This is for seniors only. Apple Doom, you got 2. Wait, has Apple Doom already won, though?
Apple of Doom has one.
Yeah, so you probably don't want to do that. Okay. Yeah, so everybody go ahead, put in your last tickets, your last raffles, whatever.
Yeah, Apple. You already won, didn't
If
you?
you already won,
I mean, we talked.
can't win again.
Yeah, this is the same raffle as before. We can give you those points back.
Well, you get 1 for free. All right, everybody gets 1 for free. After that, you can keep going. Ooh, Guy, you got tons of points if you want to enter for that.
Wow.
Yeah, if you're ranked 10, you definitely got a chunk of points.
Can you end it on your phone since Bird took his computer?
I can do it on here. Hold on.
You can just unplug it and then deal with it.
Yeah, but I want to be able to see...
I'll just look at the chat on my phone.
Okay. No, you can only win once. Guy, you can buy all 10 tickets if you want. Actually, no. We're going up to 25 tickets, so you can buy all of them. Yeah, someone else has like 9 tickets, but you can get up to 25 for this one. This has been one that's been going on all week, and we're drawing tonight. So, do you have that up and going?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're good. Okay, everybody, we're doing this now. Get your last tickets in and all that stuff. Broke. Vinrod, I wouldn't risk it. That's just me. Yada yada. And some guy won with some guy.
Yo, someone won. Yeah, actually, I think Robot Dancer won last night with almost no chance.
Yeah, 2% or something. Somebody's got to win, and it's not going to be Vinroy, ever.
Vinroy already won.
Jem, we're not sure where the SAT subject list is.
It's pretty far up in general, I think. Look for a message from a person named Scotta.
You feeling lucky, Apple?
Yeah, Brady's upstairs doing one-on-one right now.
What does IIRC stand for again?
If I recall correctly, yeah.
Long and all with all your words. All your words. You and your internet words.
All right, if you guys are all done,
Okay.
we're getting the giveaway set up, and we're going to go ahead and draw that. No, I don't want to download the newest version of OBS Live. Thank you, though.
Mm-mm.
All right. Everybody good?
Ba-da-ba.
Along with the lingo. Who's the lucky ladder lady? Oh, hey, we got people checking out our website. Cool.
Ooh.
All right.
5, 2. What are you saying 5 and 2 for?
You guys ready? We're going to go ahead and close the giveaway.
Okay, congrats on finishing. And let's see who wins.
Ooh, T844375159.
TI-84. Good job.
TI-84. 20% chance. Wow, how many
Wow.
did they have?
Where are you, TI-84?
They put in a good number.
What does poggers mean?
It's hard to explain.
It
I would
makes me
rather have
think
them
of-
explain.
It makes me think of frogs.
It's pretty British sounding.
Poggers.
All right.
Harry Potter. Sorry. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, they aren't here right now. We'll be reaching out to them. I think one or two of you actually knows him or her in real life, but we will be reaching out to them. Think of everything as a frog.
Never mind.
There you go. All right. We will see you guys Sunday.
Didn't you say Pogger at Long and All? No?
A number of them did.
But Long and All didn't.
All right. We will see you guys next week on Sunday.
If you have topics that you want us to cover, send it to us in the Discord. Just big topics, because we haven't made the schedule for next week yet. So if you want the stuff that you're not good at on the schedule, we'll put it on the schedule. You understand what happens next. Okay.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good weekend, guys.
Have a good weekend. Don't study at all.
Or, you know, maybe a little bit if you want, if you're into that. If that's what you do.
Yeah. Pick things out. Figure out what you want to work on. Come in. Ask questions. Good night.
Yep. See ya.